Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you are new here, my name is Mandy Winkle. I've had this channel for quite a long time. It started off as beauty videos, moved into some family vlogging, and it's slowly turning into a booktube channel. So I'm going to share with you what I read in January and just give you a little bit of a life update. So December was an insane month. It was a rough month emotionally, so I did not do a ton of anything in December, to be honest with you, besides trying to be present for like the Christmas season and my kids, and I'll explain a little bit more why that was a thing in a minute. But I didn't do a ton of reading is my point for that, and so I just, new year, it's January, let me just go ahead. I really want to share my TBRs and my reviews and things like that on YouTube, but it didn't happen in December. And instead of kicking myself for that, I was like, you know what, I am just going to go ahead and do January. So here we are. I'm going to give you my January TBR. So our month of December started off with us having a loss in the family that was extremely hard on me. My husband's brother, his oldest brother, passed away suddenly, and backstory to us, you've seen him on the vlogs just a couple times, but I came into the family when I was 14. He was my big brother too. He had lived with us for quite a few years early on in our marriage. We had Toby and Lexi, and so he really was around for them, and then actually we had Elijah too. So he was around a lot. He was very, very near and dear presence in our life for many, many years. We actually did have a falling out, unfortunately, 5 years ago, and we had not had a ton of communication in those 5 years. So his passing was hard because it was mourning the hope that we had that we would restore and all the amazing memories that we had together. So that was really a rough one. Yeah. Also, I had gotten a remote job that I was working, and I was finally doing my normal hours. It was 3/12 was the shift that I had signed up for. Previous to that, I was working 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, in training for like 8 weeks. So I finally got on my regular shift. I kept my job at Suntan City, so that way, one, I could keep my tanning membership and all that stuff, and two, just to have some extra money because we need to pay down debt at Christmas, you know, blah blah blah. Then we had a pipe burst in our house because of a rodent, so we needed to file all the insurance stuff and get that fixed. Then Lexi, Addie, and my son-in-law Anthony came for Christmas. They stayed 2 weeks, which was amazing and such a good reprieve from grief and just the grind of work and that kind of thing. But on Christmas Eve, our pipe burst again. So we were without water for like 12 hours. Our brother's funeral was set to be the Thursday after Christmas. We were going to fly out on Tuesday. Christmas was on a Monday. We decided we could not fly out because our house had flooded and we didn't want to leave all the kids here. Lexi and Anthony were going to stay with our other kids. Toby was working as well, so we didn't want them just to be alone. So anyways, that happened, and we pushed our trip back another day, which cost quite a bit of money. And if you can imagine how much flying the day after Christmas already was, it was insane. But in my head, it's like, it's okay, I'm gonna sign up for overtime at my new job, and I'm gonna work extra at Suntan City. We'll pay this all off. I mean, we have to go. Like, we have to go. So we ended up taking a trip to California. It was a very, very quick trip, and both there and coming home, due to weather delays, those kinds of things, we were up for 24 hours straight, which that was not fun. But thankfully I had books to get me through this whole season, and it was very, very good. So in January, gonna get to the grind. We're gonna get back in routine. We're gonna do all these things, you know, like get super pumped for the new year. Well, on the 12th of January, I actually lost my remote job due to some documentation that was not up to date, that I had no knowledge needed to be updated. There was no management, there was no phone calls, there was no texts. a long story that I felt like I was in a Twilight Zone. But yes, so I then lost my remote job, the one that was going to help me get out of all the debt. Don't worry about it, Mandy. We're just going to work hard through the winter to pay this all off, and then come spring, it's going to be great. Because if you don't know, we moved to Tennessee with the hopes that we would really start homesteading, becoming a little bit more self-sufficient, homeschool the kids, all these things. So unfortunately, we had to get into some debt to purchase the house and the land, and like do some things around the house, and then Christmas and the traveling, we also went into debt for that. But again, I had a plan to pay this all off, and then it would be done by springtime, and come spring I'd be gardener Mandy, who just had to work minimally to keep up with like groceries because inflation, you know. But now I am currently searching for another job because I still need to make that happen, but now we're set back, so we'll see what happens. Thankfully, I had books during this time to kind of distract me from my reality. And that's why we read fiction. So let me share what books I read in January to kind of help me through all that. So first, I'm going to start with Iron Flame. So I don't know why. I started this book, when did it come out? Did it come out in November? Got it in November, started it then. Actually, no, I had to finish Fourth Wing, then I started it. I read it all through December, and I didn't finish it until the very, very beginning of January. Look at how pretty it is, though. I do actually like this series. I don't know why it took me 2 months. This was the only book I was reading for that whole time. So I have no idea. Like, I didn't even do Christmas reads because I was like, no, I need to finish Iron Flame. There was a bit of a slump while I was being kind of sad Mandy. But I do really like this. If you have not read the series, I don't even think I could do anything without spoilers, since the second book, you know, builds off the first one, but I do like it. I feel like I liked this one more than the first. I feel like this one has a little bit more politics in it that I actually really like in fantasies. So I would definitely recommend them. I think I gave this one a 4 or 5 star. I think a 4, just because it took me so long. So I feel like a 5 star I would have been like, no matter what's going on, devouring it. I just didn't. And to be honest, what happened is I ended up buying it on my Kindle because this chunker was going to have to go on the plane with me, because I'm like, I'm not reading another book until I finish Iron Flame. And this is really big, and we're taking just a carry-on. So I ended up getting on my Kindle, and then I just like threw it. So I don't know if that's like the move, is to put fantasies on your Kindle, because then it doesn't feel like so daunting. Like sometimes in fantasies, since they're so big, you're like, I'm not making any progress. And so then maybe you get discouraged. I don't know. But putting on my Kindle really worked. I was able to get through on that one, and I just loved it. Speaking of Kindle, the other book that I read on here, and I'll try to like insert a picture, was Hopeless. It was the latest installment of the Chestnut Springs series. I believe the last installment, and it was Bo and Bailey. That book also came out in October, and it was highly anticipated by me because the Chestnut Springs series, I can't even describe to you how much joy it brings me. I love the found family in it. I love the dad. Oh my gosh, I love Harvey Eaton. Like, he is like, he just makes my heart so happy, and the way he like teases his boys and like loved his wife. I don't know. Harvey Eaton is everything. So love him. But it's Harvey is the dad. He has 4 boys, 3 boys. 3 boys, and then like an adopted son. And so we follow each of the sons through like their different romances. One's a bull rider, one's a rancher, one's a hockey player, one's a soldier, and then one of the books is about the bull rider's protege. They're so good. Now listen, the romance in it is just pull at your heartstrings, make you smile, make you giddy. Like, oh my gosh, this is so amazing. I love their love, but the spicy scenes will make you blush. Like they're spicy. Very, very spicy. Skim through because you're but other than that, like, I 10 out of 10 recommend Chestnut Springs if you don't have like a strong conviction against like no spice in your books. If you are no spice in your books, do not pick up Chestnut Springs, because they are like habanero. Ghost Pepper. Don't do it. But I loved it. So I did, right after Iron Flame, read Hopeless, because that was the second book that I like could not wait for, but for whatever reason I was in a little bit of a reading slump, mental slumpity slump of all sorts, so I never did read it. So then I did consume that right after Iron Flame, and I loved it. Like, when you do that too, you're like, why did I wait so long? Like, this made me so happy, and I needed to be happy. Why did I avoid being happy? So that's that. I am really enjoying my Kindle. So this was a little hand-me-down from a friend of mine, and it has been so, I love it. I love it. I do have Kindle Unlimited, and I think my like thing I'm going to do is a lot of the romances I'll never read again. So I feel like I will put those, except Chestnut Springs. Like, I feel like I will reread those, and I do want the physical copies of those. But like, I want to read the romances on here, and then if I'm never going to read them again, that's fine. If I fall in love like Chestnut Springs, then I'll get physical copies and know that I will love them and reread them someday. But this has been, it has come in clutch. Like, I love this. I am going to decorate it eventually. I did get the clear case as a stocking stuffer. I want to do like my personalized, you know, I want to do all the things, but I just got it late November. And then, you know, December just kind of sucked. So, and now I have no job, so I can't afford like little trinkets just right now. We got to prioritize food at the moment, but that's okay. We will get there, and this will be cutely decorated soon enough. So then I had purchased Lovelight Farms in November to get ready for December to do like Christmassy reads, but then again I just hit that brick wall of like reading slump, mental slump, didn't want to read, didn't want to do anything productive, you know, just like that self-destructive thing that we do to ourselves sometimes. So I had this on my TBR for December, but again, I was not going to read a single thing until I finished Iron Flame, so this sat until January. Well, it turns out we had Snowmageddon here in Tennessee in, what was that day that it happened? On the 14th? January 14th, and we were snowed in. Like, roads were closed, city was closed, everything was closed for 9 days. So it was, you're staying home. So I thought, what better time when it's snowy outside, it's still feeling like the Christmas vibe. Let me read Lovelight Farms, because I really want to do that. She has a book for each season, and I wanted so badly to start this in December so then I could read all the other books that set in each season during the season, because I'm such like, I love romanticizing the seasons. I love doing all the seasonal things in the season. So having a series that already gives me one book for my TBR for that season, yes please. So I was so bummed at myself that I didn't do this in December, but then I got to do it in January, and I loved it. This one is so cute. So she is Stella, and she owns a Christmas tree farm, which P.S. goals, like goals, okay? P.S. I didn't say hopeless, so it was about Bo. Bo had gotten taken as a prisoner of war, and he's like healing his PTSD, and Bailey is like the town outcast who, like, since she like kind of doesn't care because nobody likes her anyway, she kind of tells it like it is, and so then he falls in love with her. It's just beautiful. I love it so much. So anyway, this one is Stella. Stella is a Christmas tree farm owner, which want to do that someday in my life, and she enters a contest with an influencer. Well, when she enters it, she says she has a boyfriend, but she doesn't. So then she asks her best friend to be her fake boyfriend. You know what happens from there, and I love it. This was definitely like eat it up, 5-star feelings, just like, I love the love. It was so sweet, gave me all the feels. This would definitely have been such a sweet Christmas read, but honestly reading it in January was not bad. I love it. I cannot wait to continue this series, and I'm pretty positive the next book is about one of the characters I loved in this one, so I'm so excited to see that story. So I'll be picking those ones up in spring, or the next one up in spring. So then my daughter, while she was here, she picked up my Court of Thorns and Roses and started reading it. I did not think she would like it. She has not been a fictional reader in her lifetime, and she loved it. She read the whole book and started the second one while she was here for Christmas. And so now she is a book girly. She's reading A Court of Thorns. I love this, but it made me motivated to start Throne of Glass, which I've been wanting to do. Like, that was one of my goals for 2024 as far as reading goes, is to go ahead and get through Throne of Glass and Crescent City. So I really want to start Throne of Glass. I have a friend who's reading it ahead of me, so she's already 5 books in, and she's gonna let me borrow the first 5, or she's gonna let me borrow as she completes. So I really want to start that, but I do have a few series. I'm looking over at the books I haven't read, which I keep by my nightstand, and I wanted to get through those because I know once I start Throne of Glass, I'm going to go straight into Crescent City. So for a little bit, Sarah J. Maas is going to be my entire personality, and I'm going to be consuming those books like I drink water on the daily. I know it. So I wanted to get through these series. So right now I only have 2 of them. I need to get the last book. But the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. Holy shamoly, I love it. So I'm all the way through with Caraval, and I will be done with Legendary by the time this post in January is over. Because I'll finish it today. But Caraval. So it's this game that a legendary magician plays once a year, and it is high stakes, it's fantasy, the world is so pretty. Like, I am picturing it like a Tim Burton movie. I'm picturing Johnny Depp as one of the characters. Like, it is just so beautifully written. Some of her lines are just like, what? Oh my gosh, I love that so much. But it follows 2 sisters, which again, oh my gosh, I love, because I'm obsessed with my own sister, and to see 2 sisters who are like fighting for each other, and like, it is so good. So good. Definitely 5 stars. I don't want to give anything away, but I would definitely pick this up. It's young adult. It is very clean. Like, the romance in it is sweet, but there's no spice. None. And it is just keeps you entertained, keeps you on your toes the whole time. I'm loving it, but like, also, it's a floppy book. It's like floppy. There's nothing better than a floppy book. So the Caraval series, I am going to go ahead and probably read the finale in February, but I did get through the first 2 in January. So that's that. So that is what I read in January, and a little bit of a life update. I'll keep you posted as I hopefully get a job. Working from home, I do really like the remote work, so that way I can still continue to be home with the kids as much as possible. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Sorry if there were some parts that were a little Debbie Downer. Let me know if you have read any of these books and what you have thought of them. I mean, they're so good. I'm so happy with the reads that I had in January. And like, again, I was like, why did you wait so long? Why did you let yourself just go into a hole? Why didn't you come out of it in all these worlds? But I did. I'm here. I'm back reading with a passion, and hopefully I will be able to continue making content for you guys in this genre. If you have any requests, let me know, because that would be fun. And yeah, I hope you guys will like, subscribe, and join my tribe, and I will see you in our next video. Bye guys.